Asterisk, welcome back to Kindness Stories, the place where true character is revealed not just through words, but through actions. Here, we dive deep into stories of pain, justice, and sometimes unexpected kindness. What you're about to hear isn't just a story, it's a lesson, a reflection of strength, and a powerful reminder that how we treat others matters more than we realize. So stay with us, because this story will shock you, move you, and leave you thinking long after it ends. Asterisk, it was her first day teaching. A bright-eyed 26-year-old woman named Elina had finally landed her dream job teaching literature at the same high school she once attended. The walls felt familiar. The smell of old books and polished floors transported her back to a time when she was a student filled with dreams. Now she was on the other side of the desk, ready to shape young minds the way her favorite teachers once shaped hers. Asterisk, Elina wore her favorite silk blouse that morning. It was a gift from her late mother, cream-colored with delicate embroidery near the collar. It wasn't just a blouse, it was a piece of memory, love stitched into fabric. Her mother always told her, what you wear on your first day determines the energy you carry for the rest of the year. So Elina wore that top with pride and a little trembling hope. Asterisk, she stood in front of her first class, trying to hide the nerves fluttering in her stomach. Most of the students were polite, a little chatty, but manageable. But then there was a group in the back, 3 students, smirking at everything she said. They passed notes, whispered insults loud enough for her to hear, and chuckled every time she turned toward the board. Asterisk, she chose not to engage with them too harshly. She had learned in her teacher training that sometimes kids just test boundaries. Maybe they were having a rough day, or maybe they weren't used to young teachers yet. So she smiled through it and carried on. Asterisk, but things didn't get better. Over the next 2 weeks, the same trio, Jessica, Dylan, and Mark, escalated. They would mimic her voice, mock her outfits, and even once placed a fake rat on her chair. The class laughed. Elina forced a smile, removed the prop, and continued teaching. She didn't report it. She didn't want to appear weak or incapable. Asterisk, then one morning, as she walked into the classroom, she felt a sudden pull from behind. Before she could turn around, she heard a ripping sound, her blouse tearing open at the back. Laughter erupted around her. One of the boys had grabbed the back of her silk top and yanked it. The delicate fabric, already old, split from the shoulder seam all the way down. Asterisk, she froze. Heat flushed her face. The room was silent for a moment, the kind of silence that doesn't feel safe, it feels like shame. She clutched her arms around herself, turned, and walked out. She didn't say a word. Asterisk, in the teacher's lounge, she cried, not just for the blouse, not just for the humiliation, but for the years she had worked so hard to get here, to stand in front of a class with passion and hope, only to be torn down literally and figuratively by a few cruel students. Asterisk, the principal was furious when she found out. The students were suspended for 3 days. But that didn't erase what happened. It didn't bring back her blouse, and it didn't make her feel safe. Asterisk, what no one knew was that Elina had a life outside the school, one that very few knew about. Before she became a teacher, Elina had co-founded a small but fast-growing marketing firm with her cousin. They had started from nothing, and now their company employed over 50 people and served several large clients. Teaching was her passion, but her business was her safety net and, sometimes, her power. Asterisk, one afternoon, about 2 weeks after the incident, Elina was reviewing resumes at her office. Her company had posted several new positions, and she was on the hiring committee. As she scanned the names, one file made her freeze. It was Dylan's mother. She had applied for the position of marketing director. Moments later, she saw another file, Mark's father. He had applied for the finance lead role. 2 of the parents of the students who had humiliated her. Asterisk, she stared at the screen. Her heart pounded. She could have rejected the applications then and there, but she didn't. She called for interviews instead. She needed to look into their eyes. She needed them to know. Asterisk, when Dylan's mother walked into the office, she was all smiles, polished, confident, experienced. She had an impressive resume and spoke with a charm that could close 100 deals. The interview was going smoothly until Elina asked her a simple question. Asterisk, tell me about your son. Asterisk, she blinked, surprised. Oh, Dylan. He's a teenager, high schooler. Keeps me busy, you know. Great kid, very bright. Asterisk, Elina nodded. Have you ever asked him how he treats others at school? Asterisk, the woman shifted. Well, I mean, he's a kid. They all joke around sometimes. Elina leaned forward. What if I told you your son tore the blouse off a teacher in front of the whole class? Her face paled. I'm sorry. What? I was that teacher. Silence fell. The room felt colder suddenly. The woman opened her mouth, but no words came. Elina continued. I'm not here to embarrass you, but I need you to understand that actions have consequences. Your son's behavior hurt me deeply, not just as a teacher, but as a person. Dylan's mother began apologizing, stumbling over her words, saying she had no idea that the school never told her the full extent of what happened. She looked genuinely horrified. I believe in second chances, Elina said, but they must be earned, not handed out freely. The next day, Mark's father arrived for his interview. Elina asked him the same question about his son. This time, the father's response was dismissive. Boys will be boys. They roughhouse. It's harmless. She looked at him. Would you call it harmless if someone tore the shirt off your wife in front of a room full of laughing students? His expression changed. He looked uncomfortable, defensive. That's different. No, it's not. She said calmly, I was that teacher. Unlike Dylan's mother, Mark's father showed no remorse. He shifted blame, said the school overreacted, that kids need thicker skin these days. He was not hired. Dylan's mother, however, was given a chance, but on one condition. She had to bring Dylan to the office. When they arrived, Dylan looked confused, maybe a little embarrassed. Elina greeted him with the same calm, composed demeanor she always had. Dylan, do you remember what you did to me in class? He looked down. Yes. Do you understand why it was wrong? He nodded. I'm not here to punish you anymore, but I want you to know that your actions almost made me quit something I love. And that blouse you tore, it belonged to my mother. She passed away last year. Dylan's eyes widened. He looked up at her. I'm sorry. Elina nodded. Thank you. I hope you never make someone feel the way I felt that day. From that moment, things changed. Dylan's behavior at school improved. He stopped hanging out with Jessica and Mark. He started participating more in class. He even apologized in front of the whole classroom, surprising everyone. Word got around. Students whispered about how the young teacher had stood up for herself, but more than that, they began to respect her because she hadn't yelled. She hadn't played the victim. She had shown strength not with revenge, but with quiet dignity. Months passed. Elina continued teaching, more confident than ever. Her business thrived, and sometimes she'd walk past the students who once mocked her, and they'd look away not out of guilt, but out of respect. One day, during parent-teacher conferences, Dylan's mother came up to her. You changed him, she said softly. I don't know how to thank you. Elina smiled. Just keep raising him with accountability. That's enough. In a world where cruelty often hides behind laughter and youth. Elina reminded everyone that kindness isn't weakness, that justice doesn't always have to shout, and that sometimes the most powerful revenge is rising higher than those who tried to bring you down. So if you ever find yourself torn down by others, remember Elina. Remember that your strength lies not in how loud you respond, but in how deeply you stand in your truth. And maybe, just maybe, the kindness you show in response might be the very thing that changes someone's life forever. Thank you for watching Kindness Stories. If this story touched your heart, share it. Someone out there may need to hear it today.